सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां दयाकरं दयाकारं तं धर्मप्रवर्तकं प्रणमामि दयानन्दं मदाचार्यवरं परम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। I think 2 lines of Bhashya are left from the last mantra. We will see that before proceeding further. Nityo nityanam chetanashchetananam एको बहुनायो विदधाति कामान् तमात्मस्थं येन पश्यन्ति धीराः तेषां शान्तिः शाश्वती नेतरेषाम्। किंच सर्वज्ञः सर्वेश्वरः कामिनां संसारिणां कर्मानुरूपं कामान् कर्मफलानि स्व अनुग्रहनिमित्तांश्च कामान् यः एकः बहूनाम् अनेकेषाम् अनायासेन विदधाति प्रयच्छति इति एतत्। So when we talk of somebody giving kamas, what are we talking about? We are talking about not Chaitanya, Shuddha Chaitanya does not give, does not receive. What are we talking about? Ishvara. So here we are talking of Ishvara, and just to make it clear, Sarvajnaha, Sarveshwaraha, that Ishvara, not the Ishvara in the form of the boss of the neighborhood. No, the one who is the overlord of all, Sarveshwaraha. Then what does this Sarveshwara do? Kaminam. Kaminam means samsarinam. Who is the samsari? The one who is full of kama. That is what is, according to Adi Shankara, samsari. And then for the samsari means insecurity. When there is insecurity centered on the self, it is intolerable. And this intolerable insecurity, what do you want to do? You want to fill it up. You want to fill it up with all kinds of things which are, which will help to make you feel better. And so to fill up the insecurity, because of the insecurity centered on the I, there are desires. Desires to fill up the lack. The source of the insecurity is the lack centered on the I. The source of the lack centered on the I is Atma Ajnanam, which morphs into lack. So when there is an emptiness or a lack, what do you want to do? Fill it up, fill it up, fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. And that endless strife to fill it up, constitutes these relentless activities that one unleashes in the world, and that those activities cause problems, because the sheer insecurity creates a pressure to be filled up quickly, and that pressure makes one cross dharma. If you cross dharma, what happens to your karma? Turns into karma phala called papa. Okay, so therefore that papa I don't want, and to alleviate that papa, what does the person do? The person goes to temples and churches and everything to try to absolve that papa, and then prayer and begging for the grace of the Lord and all these things, and then what? And then keeps back on the same track again of insecurity, ajnanam, lack, insecurity, fill up the insecurity, transgress dharma, and then cause karma phala, etc., etc. One is in this loop, and it's as though Bhagavan, feeling sorry for this jiva, gives the karma phala. And I explained last time, the karma phala means whatever is due to them gives, and then gives the punya also, and then give the punya and papa belong to the jiva, but the choice of what to pick up and when it should unfold is in whose hands? Bhagavan's hands. That's why Bhagavan is karma phala data. And then it's not some kind of a cruel enterprise. Aha, one more jiva has fallen into my lot. Let's see how I can make them squirm and squeal and suffer. No. It is, the karma phala is given with great love, swa anugrahena. Swa anugraha sahitena, along with the gift wrap of Bhagavan's grace. And what is this grace? The grace of fructifying the karma phala, so that even if there are obstacles, you suddenly find yourself in the right place at the right time, with the right people. So yes, there are obstacles, but oh look, there is somebody with yes, I'm sinking, yes, there is quicksand and I'm gone, but look, there is somebody with a stick and giving it to me. And then I can just hold the stick and come up. Or I can get afraid, oh, the fellow is here to beat me, and then I refuse the offer, and then that means what? Glub, glub, glub. That is not on Ishvara. That is on me. So even in the thicket of difficulties, Ishvara comes with certain, what's the word for it, in the form of grace, that even among all the papas that are there to be eaten, there is the dessert of punya hidden in the bitter papa. That is Bhagavan's grace. To make it bearable, to make one strong enough to bear it, and to teach some lessons out of it, all that is an act of grace. And so this grace, along the karma phala, is served along with grace. Along with grace, and then karma phalani, so karma anurupam means in accordance to whatever karma was done, the karma phalas are given along with anugraha. One's anugraha becomes the nimitta for being a karma phala data. So ekah san bahunam means for all the people, bahunam anekesham anayasena means without any effort. You do something for somebody, including what? Signing for the class that they have not attended, they will not attend tonight. Okay, yeah. So you sign for them, and then tomorrow you say, massage my fingers. Ayyo, so much ayasa. You have such a long name your parents had given. It ran over the whole page, and now I'm having a massage the fingers, and the other person has to say, yo, so sweet, poor thing, thank you for signing these 3 signing fingers, please massage. This is our condition. So if we do something for somebody, we blame them for asking, because they say, look, I had to go out of my way. Where did you go? Dining hall. Dining hall is out of your way. No, it's just below my room. But that's how it is. For Bhagavan, since Bhagavan is Asanga, the giving of the karma phala is also what? Asanga. There is no ayasa. Ayasa comes because there is a hook. Most of the exhaustion is mental, yes. Physical exhaustion you can manage. You're tired, you go to sleep, no problem. Easy. In or outside of class, you will go to sleep. No problem at all. Physical exhaustion, NAP. See, it spells NAP also, not a problem. I love it when Bhagavan does these kinds of things. So, physical exhaustion, NAP, nap it out, not a problem. And then, but most of the exhaustion is mental in nature, samsaric exhaustion. Most of it is a notional exhaustion that I superimpose upon the body due to all this ajnana insecurity. Bhagavan doesn't have that problem. Anayasena vidadhati. So to anybody who comes, does not say, oh my God, so many people came asking for so many things today. Shut the door, finished. No more office hours, finished. 9 to 5, Ishvara works. 5 o'clock. Oh, but I came at 5:01, please, please, please. No, shut, closed. That is only for offices and shops, not for Bhagavan. Bhagavan is because the giving is limitless. The resources are limitless. For that matter, the Jiva's Papa Punya also is what? Limitless. Anayasena vidadhati. Vidadhati, in case we don't know the meaning, prayachati, gives. Iti etat tam atmastham ye anupashyanti dhiraha tesham shantihi uparatihi shashvati nitya svatmabhuta eva syat na itaresham anevam vidhanam. Yeah, all this is purvavat, like before, because this line came in the previous mantra also. Still, Adi Shankara takes the patience to describe everything, not in detail, but the one word is different. Sukham is replaced by what? Shantihi. Shantihi is uparatihi. Uparama means cessation. Cessation of what? Samsara. Cessation of samsara is absolute shanti. Relative shanti is within samsara. You go to a movie, that is relative shanti. Within samsara, you go to sleep, that is also relative shanti. Within samsara, you do something to forget all the wants and the urgency of filling up the feeling of lack, needing validation, needing love, feeling alone, all these things. That urgency, when you quell it with some other activity, that is relative shanti. But absolute shanti is the cessation of that urgency itself. That vega is indeed the product of Atma Ajnanam. So when Atma Ajnanam is gone, that urgency is also gone. And that absence of that urgency is the presence of well-being centered on oneself, which is called Shantihi. What kind of Shantihi? Nitya Shantihi. And the Shanti that is not contingent upon another person, your own moods of the mind or place or thing. People say, if I go to Kedarnath, I get a lot of Shanti, therefore I am going to Kedarnath. Jnani doesn't need to go to Kedarnath. Jnani is the source of Shanti. That is the idea. Svatma Bhuta Shanti Syat. And then the Itaresham, not for others means what? Anevam Vidhanam. Evam Vidhanam means the ones who are described as such. As such means what? That dhiraha, etc. Purvavat. Those who are vivekinaha. What is that? From whom Bhakya Trishna is not there. All such people that were described earlier, Anevam Vidhanam. So, Evam Vidhanam means for the people who are like this. Anevam Vidhanam means people who are not dhiras, ityarthaha. Now, we can take it like this. The next mantra is the, what is that? Can be taken as the Nachiketa's question in between the teachings, or the Shruti herself raising the question and answering it. It's more fun to take it as Nachiketa's question because he hasn't appeared in a long time. Okay, even though it doesn't say Nachiketa Uvacha, it doesn't say that, but still it can be taken that way. Tadetaditi manyante anirdeshyam paramam sukham kathannu tadvijaniyam kimu bhati vibhati va. Yeah. So the question is this, because in the last mantra we talked about Shanti, and the mantra before that, what did we talk about? Sukham. So this Sukha, this Shanti, Tat meaning Jnana Phalam, and Jnana Phalam is being non-different from what? Atma Jnanam. So Tat Atma Jnanam. Atma Jnanam is non-separate from what? Atma. Atma. So see how it goes. So what was talked about? The Sukham and the Shanti are non-separate from Jnana Phalam. The Jnana Phalam is non-separate from Jnanam. The Jnanam is non-separate from the one who knows, Jnata. So therefore, what is this Jnanam? Brahma Jnanam. What is this Brahman? Myself alone. You see, that is the idea. So Tat means, therefore, by a long route, Brahman. Immediately the meaning of the word Tat is Atma Swarupa, Shanti, Atma Swarupa, Sukham, the immediate meaning. But you have to take the extended meaning. What is this Sukham? It is the product of Atma Jnanam. It is the phala of Atma Jnanam. It is the linga of the samsara uparama. It is the linga of the cessation of samsara. But then, what is this? Is the Jnana Phalam separate from Atma Jnanam? Say no, so we can move on. Okay, yeah. Because the fruit of this knowledge is the same as the knowledge. We have seen this before, because there is only one thing, which is Brahman. The fruit of the knowledge is what? Identical with this knowledge. Fruit of the knowledge is identical with this knowledge, and then, so this, so what is this knowledge about? Brahman. And is the knowledge different from Brahman? No. So therefore, the extended meaning of the word Tat resolves where? In Brahman alone. Brahmani. So Tad Ananda, and Tat Sukha actually goes with, Tat Sukham goes with Brahman, because Sukham is an intrinsic Lakshana, Sukham being an intrinsic Lakshana of what? Brahman. Okay. So, Tat, Tat, here itself is a Mahavakya, while Nachiketa is even asking the question. That Sukham, which is what? The product of Brahma Jnanam, that Brahma Jnanam non-separate from Brahman. So that Sukham, which is Brahman, is what? Etat. Etat means what? Atma. That Sukham is said to be this I. Tat etat iti manyante. Manyante who? Manishinaha. So the people who know. Tadetat iti manyante. Who manyante? The seers, the sages, the wise people. Manyante. And then what do they say? Paramam sukham iti manyante. They see it as the ultimate source of happiness. They see this Brahman as the ultimate source of happiness. Alas, only one problem with it. What is it? Anirdeshyam. It cannot be taught. It cannot be talked about. It cannot be communicated directly. It can only be communicated how? Through implied meaning of the words. Vachyartha won't work. Lakshyartha alone will work. All this Adi Shankara is going to say. So Adi Shankara basically says, even if you beat somebody, the Ajnani, who doesn't wish to change, even if you beat them on the head with a stick called Brahman, they will not get it. Because it is sukshma, ati sukshmatvat, it is not the vachyartha, it's not the direct meaning of words. So therefore it has to be taught by implication, because it points to you. Are you an object or a subject? Subject. That's what I'll let you think for now till we do the next two mantras. So I'll let you think that, because the Shruti is also letting you think that. So I am the subject, correct? So the subject cannot see itself, therefore the words have to be used through implication, it has to be conveyed. So this Sukham, which is Tad Brahma, which is told to be Etad Atma, this Etad Atma Eva, how is it known? Kathannu vijaniyam. How should we know this? Should we know this as bhati, or should we know this as vibhati? Two options are there. So kathannu vijaniyam, how to know this? How to know this means, in other words, like a satsang question that says, how will I know when I am enlightened? How will I know? Does somebody else have to tell me? Come and tell me, okay, now you are enlightened. Does somebody has to come and tell me, or what? How will I know that I am enlightened? So therefore, so here, similar question, Katham etad vijaniyam. How to understand this? And then look, Nachiketa doesn't say how to experience this. Look at that. How to understand this, vijaniyam. Not how to experience, how to have this anubhuti, he is not asking, because the anubhuti, Atma is anubhuti swarupa. All the time you are experiencing. Even your ignorance you are experiencing. That's why you came here to begin with. So therefore, you are not shy of experience, you are shy of understanding. You don't know the understanding, the meaning of this ever present, ever experienced Atma as Brahman, you do not know. And so how should I know this? Kimu bhati? Does it shine by itself? Is it self-evident? Yeah, we go because we have heard this. Or is it shining as an object? Vibhati. Vibhati, visheshena bhati. Does it shine by itself, bhati, or does it shine as an object? Vibhati. Okay, so nothing more to say. We can just go straight to the Bhashya, because there is not much in the question, there is more in the answer. Yattat Atmavijnanam Sukham Anirdeshyam Nirdeshtum Ashakyam Paramam Prakrishtam Prakrita Purusha Vang Manasayoho Agocharam Sat Nivritta Eshanaha Ye Brahmanaha Te Tat Etat Pratyakshameva Iti Manyante. Yeah. So this Atma Vijnanam that you have been teaching, O Yama, O Lord Yama, this Atma Vijnanam which you have been teaching, whose product is what? Whose byproduct? The phala of Atma Vijnanam is what? Sukham. You just read the Bhashya, you'll see it is Sukham. We went the other way. We went from Sukham to Atma Jnanam to what? Atma to Brahman. Here the other way it has gone. This Sukham, which is the product of Atma Jnanam, is what? Anirdeshyam. Nirdeshtum ashakyam. Is not possible to point out directly. Not at all possible to point out directly. Why? Because it is not the direct meaning of the word. So it is impossible to describe like Ghatavat, like even a pot which can be directly said, look, this is pot. Very easy. Look at this pot. Very easy. You point to the pot and then pot is known. Janami. Ghatam janami. Immediately the cognition of pot, what happens to it? Takes place. Cognition of pot takes place. And then so pot cognition totally takes place, and so Atma cognition also should take place in the same manner, but it doesn't. Why? Ati sukshmatvat, because it is subtle in nature. It is not an object of any word. Why? Because it is the meaning of the word you, and you cannot go to the airport to receive yourself. You cannot go to you cannot quote unquote see yourself, you cannot hear yourself, because all the pramanas are useless. Therefore, the Shastra pramana alone works, because the Shastra teaches in an ingenious way of using the everyday words to teach that Atma, but using them with a twist. Sat is used after in its bhave prayoga, in its abstract sense, the word sat as existence beyond space and time is used. Chit without without any limitations is used. So the same chit is Ishvara, the same chit is Jiva. In fact, if you say Satchidananda, it is Mahavakya. Ananda is also used, not as an object-based Ananda, but Swarupananda. It has to be talked about, otherwise it is Anirdeshyam. Na vidmo na vijanimaha yatha etat anushishyat. The Kathopanishad teacher also says the same thing. Anirdeshyam. It is not the meaning of words. Words can convey only 4 kinds of things. What are they? Jati, nouns. Kriya. Kriya means verbs. And then what else? Guna. Guna means adjectives. Sambandha. The connections with all these 3. This is where the words exhaust themselves. And so is Atma a jati? A special species like Ficus religiosa? Atma religiosa? No. Not a jati, not a species, not a noun. Is it a verb? Atma yate behaves like Atma. No, it is not a verb. It's not a verb. Because why? It is free of all actions. Therefore not a verb. It's not one object. Therefore it's not a noun. And then what is left? Guna. How many qualities does Atma have? What about Satchidananda? They are not qualities. We know that now very well. That is our quality, that we know that. Because we know that these are words indirectly used. And the words, where the words exhaust themselves, that alone is the Atma. Then what else is there? Sambandha. Atma is related to what? This body, this mind, the senses? No. Asanga. Completely asanga. So the words exhaust themselves. Therefore it's not the direct meaning of the words nirdeshtum ashakyatvat. So because of this, it is not the direct meaning of the words at all. And then what else does it say? But what happens? But it says this paramam. Paramam means the ultimate, beyond which there is nothing else, that which transcends everything, but which nothing transcends. Nothing transcends it. And then na tad atyeti kashchana, we saw that. Nothing transcends it, but it transcends everything. Paramam. And so this Parama Atma, what is this Atma? This Atma which is the meaning of the word I, and which is impossible to describe, and it is Prakrishtam, it is Utkrishtam, the most exalted one. And then what else? What about it? It is beyond the mind. Beyond the mind of Prakrita Buddhayah. Prakrita Buddhayah means the people who are not schooled in Vedanta. So they just are using their life, abusing their life basically by not studying Vedanta, even though the buddhi for the Vedanta means for Vedanta Shastra is known, but they are not listening to Vedanta. They are not listening to Vedanta. So what do they say? If you talk to them about Atma, they will say there is no Atma. So Prakrita Purushanam, what is that? Vang manasayoho agocharam. Agocharam means it cannot go there. Gochara. Okay. So it cannot go there. Go where? Gochara means cannot go. Agochara means cannot go there. Where it cannot go? It cannot be a product of the mind or the senses for the ajnanis, and so the ajnanis don't understand the value of this knowledge. All this we have to supply. The Bhashya just indicates and goes away. The ajnanis do not understand the value of this knowledge, and so what do? As a result, they don't understand the value of this knowledge, so they conclude there is either no Atma, or doesn't matter, what will I get out of knowing such a thing which is very difficult to know. So they don't bother to know it. This is what Prakrita Purushaha, people with not much Viveka, not much Vairagya. What to talk of? Vairagya. So for them it is Vang Manasayoho Agocharam. Api, even though it is out of bounds for them, this knowledge is not for them. Why? Readiness abhavat, adhikaritva abhavat, because they are not adhikaris, they don't have shamadhama, they haven't done vichara, they don't have viveka, they don't have vairagya, they don't have all that it takes to come and listen to a class, and so they will make the wrong conclusion. They will say, na bhati na u vibhati. That is how they will say. So what was the question here? Kim vai bhati or vibhati? Does it shine on its own, or does it shine specifically or as an object? They will say neither. It is not shining anywhere. What shine? No shine. Okay, this is what they will conclude. Even though that is the case, it is still knowable. It is not knowable as an object. Very beautiful bhashya here. Even though it is anirdeshyam, not knowable as an object, it is knowable. It is out of the bounds of the mind and the speech. Therefore, we have the description in the Taittiriya Upanishad. Yato vacho nivartante apraapya manasa saha anandam brahmano vidvan. So the fact that one is Ananda, one is Brahman, the mind cannot find out. Speech cannot find out. Even though they go eagerly to tie up Brahman and drag Brahman and show, look, we have found Brahman, everybody has been looking for, what is our reward? Here, look, we have brought Brahman back. This is what they wanted to do. They teamed up, a very unlikely team. It's like the lame man sitting on the shoulders of the blind person. So the lame man can see but cannot walk, and then the blind man can walk but cannot see. So it's a very interesting combination. And so the lame man says, no, not here. You are going to crash us into the tree. What are you doing? Yeah, so this is what, this is how they go. And somehow what happens? The mind and the, vak, speech have a very special relationship. Speech is envious of the mind in a good way. Speech says, oh mind, you are full of such wonderful imagination. I wish I could imagine like you. Sitting here, you can go to South Africa. I can't do that. And the mind says, yeah, but who has the flowery speech? Pushpitam vacham, who has? So who has that flowery speech? Who has? You, I am nothing without you, because I will be in permanent maunam, because I can't express myself. I am just the mind. You put expressions on my thoughts. And it's between the mind and the speech, it is a mutual appreciation society. Each one appreciating the other, but no one gets Brahman. They go with all aplomb. We are going to tie up Brahman and bring and produce habeas corpus. We are going to bring back Brahman. And then what happens? They slink back without having met their object because they go about it the wrong way. They think it is Vaggocharam and an object of the mind. It's neither the object of the mind nor the object of speech, but then where the Prakrita Purushas give up and they say, I am better off in samsara, this Vedanta, Shmedanta, I don't need this. When they give up, the Jnanis, they know. How do they know? Why do they know? Let us find out. They know because so agocharam api san nivritta eshanaha. So the eshanas, the three forms of longings, the powerful longings, have returned from whom? Have gone away from whom? They have beat a retreat from whom? Ye brahmanaha, those committed to Brahman, te yat etat pratyaksham eva iti manyante. Those brahmanas who are convinced and who see it as they see you. They see it means what? They understand that it is pratyaksham. It is not paroksha, it is not far away. For the minds of the ajnanis, Atma will always be Tat. For the minds of the jnanis, the Tat will be converted to what? Etat. This right here. And so they are not looking anywhere. They are not disappointed because they see it. See means they understand it extremely clearly. They don't need anything at all. So yat tat etat pratyakshameva iti manyante. Katham nu kena prakarena tat sukham aham vijaniyam. Very straightforward. So how, in what manner should I understand this sukham? Is it self-shining or does it shine as an object? So how to understand this sukham? Katham etad vijaniyam. What vijaniyam? Idam iti atma buddhi vishayam apadayeyam. Yatha nivritta vishayeshanaha yatayah. So it is it Atma Buddhi Vishayam? Atma Buddhi Vishayam is it the direct meaning? Is it directly understood? Is it the direct meaning of the word I? Should I understand it Atmatvena? Should I understand it as what? The direct meaning of the word I. Is this the direct meaning of the word I? Like the people who have given up the longings see. So nivritta eshanaha, how do they see it? They see it pratyaksham. Pratyaksham. Is it how can I make the that into this as an object of my buddhi? So is it an object of my buddhi? And can I see it like the sannyasis who have given up all the longings, how they see it? Can I do that? Can I see it as an object and experience that sukham? Or is it self-luminous and shines by itself as an object of clear perception to our intellect? Does it or does it not? This is the question. Did you understand the question? No? Yes. Okay. Can we go further? No. So, the Bhashya connecting the two verses are what? Atra uttaram idam bhati cha vibhati cha iti katham. A lovely twist towards the end of the Valli. What is this lovely twist? What have we been schooled to say? Bhati eva, self-luminous, self-evident, self-effulgent. We have memorized 3 expressions. Self-luminous, self-effulgent, self-evident. Memorized. And now what? That memory, that memorization, that textbook definition of the I, the Atma, is being challenged, along with how to know this Atma is also being challenged. How is the second challenge? What is the second challenge before baby Vedanta? Atma, I. And everything that I can objectify, what is that? Not I. Anatma. Everything anatma. Body anatma. Mind anatma. Senses anatma. Speech anatma. Breathing anatma. Prana anatma. Everything anatma, anatma. And then through this sifting, I come to the Atma. This is what we were taught, right? Wrong. Okay. That was okay for baby talk. So things that you learn in KG is not good enough for PhD. This is what we have to see, because now we are coming to PhD. This is postgraduate stuff. Okay. Like a child is told, you should always do this before doing that, because the child doesn't know any better. The child doesn't know any better. And you should always brush your teeth before going to bed. This is a rule. This is a rule. Okay? And then that rule has many, many exceptions. What if you stay up all night? Okay? Then like this. So many, many exceptions are there. What if you have some important assignment and you pull an all-nighter? You don't go to bed at all. And in order to stay awake, you keep eating. And so where is the time or the space to brush the teeth? So there, as an adult, you know, okay, there are exceptions. Apavadas are there, and the apavadas only go to prove the rule, not disprove the rule. But the child doesn't know. The child has to be given the rule. And then as it grows, it will see that there is ways to understand. The understanding is much more complex than just the rule provided. You should eat only these things. You must always eat your vegetables. All these things. So these are all rules, and they are given for the child so that it will grow up healthy and it will grow up to be a disciplined, well-adjusted adult in society. You can only have dessert if you eat your food. Who is this for? Child. Adult, what do? You start with a gulab jamun in each cheek. One gulab jamun in each cheek, then only you eat the rest of the food. Doesn't matter, because now you are an adult. You can think around it, and you don't have to be confined to the rule, because you have the viveka now. And you also have the viveka why it was told. Similarly, Atma, Anatma, 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 Anatma. All of you are Anatma. Fan Anatma, light Anatma. My own body Anatma, Anatma, Anatma. I am what? Only Atmadarshi. I just want Atma. This is okay. Gu gu ga ga baby Vedanta. Okay, this is baby talk in Vedanta. Now we have to graduate to see, to bridge this duality. This duality of Atma and Anatma is the final duality. The last frontier of duality is the so-called duality, the artificially constructed duality between Atma and Anatma, because the truth is what? Everything is Atma. There is no Anatma. You look for Anatma, you will not find it. Even the looker is not Anatma. So therefore, how to go from this I am Atma, everything else is Anatma, to everything is Atma? We have to look at the status of the subject, and as I, the self-shining, self-luminous I, bhati, and then we have to see the status of the so-called objects, which are what? Vibhati, shines after me. Whether they now, the Shruti, Lord Yama is going to say, whether they shine after you or before you, they are shining, right? Yes. And what is that shine in all the objects? What is that shine? Shine of what? Atma. Shine of Atma alone. So where is Anatma? You see, you have now climbed to a different vantage point. Do you see that? A big leap, a quantum leap. First Atma, Anatma, it's like babies playing, children playing together. My toys, your toys, you can't have my toys, like this. So my toy, your toy, and this is mine, you can't have it. All this is baby talk. Then the same children grow up a little more and then they play together and they don't care. They mix up the toys. Like brother and sister or whatever, siblings in the same family, or even good friends, children who are good friends, they don't mind sharing. And so like this, the viewpoint changes. So is the first one wrong? It's not wrong. The definition of I has expanded. Before, the definition of the I was mixed up in the not I. Therefore, that sifting has to take place before the uniting. This is a methodology. First you sift and separate and then you unite together. Very beautiful. And so, what is the correct answer? Bhati, and indeed what? Vibhati cha. Yes, it shines on its own and it is available distinctly as what? The self-shining I. And yet, this I is what? Pervades everything. This I, the self, is all pervasive self. There is a place where the I is not. No place the I is not. Where is the time that the I was not, is not, will be not? No place the I was not, is not, will be not. What else is left? Time and space have been devoured. Kimatra parishishyate etad vaitat. This is what we have to say. Nothing else is left. Nothing is left to discuss. And then what is that? The whole Jagat is swallowed by the I. Like the mantra that came earlier describing the Jnani. Yasya brahmacha kshatramcha ubhe bhavatah what? Odanam. So the big characterization, all the characterizations in society, Brahmana, Kshatriya, all these are rice and dal for the Jnani, are like rice and dal. Do you think of rice and dal when you are eating? Not at all. You just swaha it. Mrityuhu is what? Upasechanam, pickle, a little condiment, chutney. Mrityu that makes everyone into chutney is itself chutney for the Jnani. Nothing touches the Jnani because there is no distinction between the Jnani's self and the self of the Jagat. Thus the self of all the inert things in the Jagat, the self of all the sentient things in the Jagat, all that is what? One and only self. One and only self. That's all there is. Okay? And so, so this is a famous mantra. We can chant it together because we know it. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kuto yamagnihi tameva bhantamanubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. So I'd like to go till about 11:15 so that you can have a holiday tomorrow. Unless you want a class tomorrow. No, okay, yeah. All right. So we'll just go 10 minutes over, okay? All right. So that we can have the satisfaction of finishing this Valli before the weekend. All right. So whether you want that satisfaction or not, I want it. Na tatra. Tatra means what? Tasmin Brahmani. In that Brahman, which is what? Atma Bhute Brahmani. Svatma Bhute Brahmani. In this Brahman, which is the direct meaning of the word I, the sun does not shine. There the sun don't shine. Sun doesn't shine there. Oh, no light. Okay, moonlight. Very nice. Moonlit dinner. No moon. Na Chandra, na Tarakam. No moon, no stars. Candlelight. No candlelight either. Na ima vidyutaha bhanti. Na lightning is a source of light on a rainy night. Suddenly there is thunder and then electricity is produced by the water molecules clashing in the clouds. And then is that the light of Atma? Is that what is shining? No. Is that what is illumining the Atma? No. Sun does not shine doesn't mean it's a dark place. Sun does not shine means sun need not shine. Moon need not shine. Stars need not shine. The lightnings need not shine. And what to talk of this? Agni, a little fire. What to talk of this fire? That's why it is Arati mantra. Camphor Arati mantra. Because that Bhagavan which is hidden in the heart, so to speak, hidden means for want of a pramana, for want of the light of the pramana, hidden. Just like in the temple, the same thing is reproduced. So in South Indian temples, no light. Crowded, crowded, crowded. And then what? You don't have to worry about entering the temple. People behind you will make sure you go in. Okay? And then once you are in, you blink. No such lights. All dark. And then you stand in front of the sanctum. The sanctum is darker yet. Black stone. Above, below, this side, that side, every side, black stone. And goddess Meenakshi is Paroksha Jnanam. You have heard there is a goddess Meenakshi. You have heard that she has a bird on her shoulder. You have heard that she is very beautiful to look at. But you don't know her. You haven't seen her. And there is a tiny lamp there, but that is of not much use. You are straining to see. Pujari is there, Purohit is there, but being from South India, he is also dark like the stone. Okay, yeah. So you don't see the Pujari, you don't see the goddess because she is also made of dark stone. He is also dark, but not a stone. And then everything is dark. Suddenly he takes that small lamp, he puts the camphor piece and puts it in the Arati plate, and then he illumines the goddess from top to toe. Please have darshan. Wow, she's even more beautiful than I thought. Oh my God, what a lovely darshan. And people behind you say, don't hug the goddess. Get side, get side, get side. That's how elusive the darshan of the goddess is. But the darshan of the goddess here is forever. This whole thing is replica of what happens in the buddhi. The buddhi is also dark, correct? Yeah. And the Purohita, the Jiva, is also dark in Ajnanam, covered in Ajnanam. And then what else? The goddess is right there, available, but not seen for want of a pramana. Shastra pramana is the Arati light. Camphor is used, not a little candle, because candle leaves residue. Camphor, when it burns, it leaves no residue. So Atma Ajnanam is spirited away without any residue. So therefore what? So therefore this is a extremely beautiful mantra. And then what does it show? It shows how the Atma Ajnanam is, when it is spirited away, you and Bhagavati are one. You and Bhagavan are one and the same. So the Shastra light exhausts itself because it's vritti jnanam. So the vritti is short-lived, but then it has done its job. What did the camphor light, 5-minute life camphor light has, what did it do in the 5 minutes? It removed the ajnanam of Bhagavan. Similarly, the Shastra light communicated through the words of the teacher, transmitted from the mind of the teacher to the student. What does it do? It spirits away ajnana vritti. This vritti spirits away that vritti, like one thorn removes another thorn. The vrittis die away, ajnanam dies away, jnana vritti also dies away. What is left in its wake is all shine, all knowledge. You cannot unsee the Atma. Once you know, you cannot unknow the Atma. That is the idea. So then, nothing shines here. Tameva bhantam. Its light alone makes everything shine after it. Sarvam anubhati. So wherever you see, what do you see? The light of Atma alone. So pot. So pot I see. Why? Because Atma Vijnanam makes this pot available, objectifies the pot for me. So what is the object? Is it separate from Atma? No. So from the standpoint of Vijnanam, this is subject, this is object. But from the standpoint of Atma, this is Atma, this is what? Atma, don't say anatma. There is no anatma. The word anatma for a jnani goes away from the dictionary. And so therefore, whether it shines after or whether it shines first, everything is Atma. One is indirectly understood as Atma, one is directly understood as Atma. So it is both. What? Bhati cha, vibhati cha. Bhashya. Na tatra tasmin svatma bhute brahmani सर्व अवभासकोऽपि सूर्यः भाति तद्ब्रह्म न प्रकाशयति इत्यर्थः. So in this Brahman, there can be no source of external light which is needed to light up this Brahman. Why? Because even the sun, which is what? Sarva avabhasakaha. The sun lights up everything including your eyes, but cannot light up Brahman. Does not have any access to Brahman. Tatha na chandra tarakam na ima vidyutah bhanti. Tatha, in the same manner, neither the moon nor the stars nor the lightnings make it shine. Make what shine? Brahma, Atma. Svatmabhuta. Svatmabhuta Brahma. It cannot make it shine. Kutaha ayam asmad drishti gocharaha agnihi. So what to talk of this Agni, which is right in my hand, in the Arati plate, or right easily objectifiable. Asmad drishti gocharaha, seen by all of us. Seen by all of us, this Agni, because lightning some people may see. The sun reveals everything, but the Agni is an object by itself. So what to talk of Agni? How can this small Agni illumine the Atma when the sun itself cannot? Why cannot the sun illumine the Atma? Because the Atma in fact illumines the sun. Atma illumines the stars. Because of Atma I see the sun. The sun illumines the eye, but what is this thing? What is this eye? The eye that sees the sun is in fact the Atma illumining the sun. Very interesting. So like this, we have to understand this properly. So what to talk of this Agni? Kim bahuna yadidam adikam sarvam bhati tattameva parameshwaram bhantam deepyamanam anubhati iti anudipyate. Anudipyate. So sarvam bhati means kim bahuna. So what to talk of the fire, what to talk of any such thing. All these objects like the sun etc. only shine after Parameshwara. The truth of this Atma is Parameshwara. This Parameshwara, this Bhagavan alone shines, and then everything that shines, such as the sun, the moon, the stars, etc., shine only secondarily. After being illumined by Atma, they shine. First, Atma illumines the sun, and then the sun illumines everything else. Atma bhati, what does the Surya? Anubhati. So, Surya Anubhati. And then Atma what? Bhati. Surya Anubhati. So, like this, everything in the world Anubhati, because Atma, being the nature of the light, gives its satta and spurti to everything, lends its chaitanyam to everything, lends its vijnanam to everything, so that the object vijnanam is not different from subject jnanam. So, the vijnanam meaning the knowledge of the pot. So, the knowledge of the pot means specific details of the pot. specific details it has. It is this big, it is this much weight. These kinds of details of the pot is called specific vijnanam of the pot. So Atma Jnanam is general Jnanam, self-luminous light, which brings to light what? The specific knowledge of the pot. The specific knowledge of the pot is still what? Borrowed from the Atma, which is all knowledge. Does all knowledge include specific knowledge or not? Exactly. Specific knowledge anubhati, all knowledge bhati. You see the difference? Yeah, that's what it is. So this is what is said, everything anubhati, because it is worth knowing. It is useful to know. It's useful to know pot, it's useful to know so many things in the Jagat, and their knowledge is not different from the knowledge that is Atma. Atma shines in a diffused way, bringing forth the knowledge of the specifics, and the knowledge of the specific and the shine of the general light that illumines is what? One and the same Atma. Like Atma illumines the wall, and the mirror light playing in the sun illumines a small little orb on the wall. But without the Atma lighting up the wall, the mirror would not be lit up, and the mirror would not light the wall or play some round, play some round shapes on the wall. So therefore, Atma bhati, and then everything else vibhati or anubhati. So in this example of the wall light, the sunlight is Atma in the wall example, and then the small orbs that the children play showing the sunlight are Chidabhasa, various people and their knowledges, their karmic trajectories, their histories, etc. What to talk of inert objects also. And then, so then he says, Yatha Jala Ulmukadi Agni Sanyogat Agnim Dahantam Anudahati Nasvatah Tadvat Tasyaiva Bhasa Deeptya Sarvamidam Suryadi Vibhati. And the same example from the previous mantra is lifted. What is that? The burning of the burning power of the wood makes the other non-burning, non-agni things. No, the burning power of the fire makes the non-fire things hot or light up. How? Because it is in contact with the fire. Same example exactly is given. Yatha jala, water. Water becomes hot by itself? No, you put it on the stove in contact with Agni. Ulmukha, firebrand. So the firebrand, what do? You tie a cloth on the stick, and then you dip the cloth in oil, set fire to that oil, and you can carry it from village to village. This was the ancient mobile phone. Behind what is there? The torch. Okay, yeah. And then much less complicated. Okay, so then it also, after going to the next village, needed to be recharged. You put a new cloth, dip it in new oil. That's all you have to do. So Jala, Ulmukha, Adi. Adi means other things like that. Agni Sanyoga Deva. Only by contact with the Agni, and then when the Agni burns, what do? Agni Dahati, and then Ulmukaha, what happens to that? Anudahati. Do you see that? Agnihi Dahati. Agni burns. Ulmukaha Anudahati. Burns afterwards. And then Agnihi Dahati. Jalam what? Anudahati. Jalam Anudahati. Like this we have it burns after the Agni burns. Agni burns Swataha. Naswataha. These things cannot burn by themselves. Similarly, the sun and the moon and the stars, all that lit up by the Atma. Atma Bhasa Deeptya. Lit up by the Atma alone. Sarvamidam Suryadikam Vibhati. Vibhati it is. So then he concludes Yadevam Tadevam Brahma Bhati cha Vibhati cha. So now do you understand how it bhatis and it vibhatis also? Yes? No? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Karyagatena Vividhena Bhasa Tasya Brahmanaha Bharupatvam Swataha Avagamyate. Yeah. So Karyagatena Bhasa. So in the form of from the various kinds of effects, we come to know that this self-luminosity belongs to who? Brahman or the objects? Brahman. That's how we know. So therefore it bhati and vibhati. So bharupena swataha avagamyate. So when I see the pot and I say this is pot, aham bhami and pot anubhati, then who does the bha belong to? Pot or me? Me. This is very easily understood because pot is present, I am present. Okay? Then pot is absent, I am present. Anvaya vyatireka, clear Anvaya vyatireka. And then, so then it is swataha. And then last two sentences, nahi swataha avidyamanam bhasanam anyasya kartum shakyam. So that which is not self-luminous cannot shine light on something else. Can I use this pot to know this pot? Bhati vibhati or bhati vibhati? No. That's why a Chaitanya Swarupa is needed to make something else anubhati. That's how. Ghatadinam. Oh, look, the same example came. Ghatadinam Anya avabhasakatva Adarshanath Bhasana Rupanam Cha Adityadinam Tad Adarshanath. Yeah. So we see what? Oh, Tad Darshanath. Sorry. Yeah. So Tad Darshanath. Yeah. So as we know, what do we see? Ghatadinam Anya avabhasakatva Darshanath. So we don't see Adarshanath. So we don't see in the case of one pot which cannot illumine another pot. But the sun, which is self-luminous, is seen to be illumining other objects. But even the sun that illumines other objects is useless in the light of Atma, the self-lit, self-luminous, self-evident, self-effulgent Atma. So the sun is also what? Atma. Pot is also what? Atma. Where is an Atma? Keep looking. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadagya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti.